A funny guy coming up now. Proud graduate of Stanford University. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for Scott Pearlman. Ta-da! Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend.
Yeah! Woo!
Good to know. After 25 years, I moved back into my childhood apartment building to help my aging parents. And of course, the neighborhood has changed a lot. Everyone there is so old. In fact, my parking lot is filled with more walkers than cars. The average age in my building is dead. When I lived out west, I used to look out my window and see beautiful mountains and trees. Now I look out my window and I see 3 old ladies on a bench debating. Last night's topic was dentures, in or out. When I come home from work, my parents love to play their favorite game. Guess who died today? And the buildings in the neighborhood have all changed as well. The bowling alley is now a CVS. The arcade, it's now a Walgreens. My school is a surgical supply store. The swimming pool is now a cemetery. Now, my parents are not great with technology. And I came home one night and my mother said to me, "This TV stinks. It only gets the Food Network." So I said to her, "You're watching the microwave." And my father, he loves shredding. He shreds everything. I came home one night, he was standing in this huge pile of papers. And he said, "I keep shredding and shredding. The pile never gets smaller." I said, "That's because you're using the fax machine." Now, my mother tried to set me up with a friend of hers from the senior center. I asked the lady what she liked about me. She said I reminded her of her great-grandson. So we went out to dinner, and I asked her, "How do you like the steak? Medium or well done?" She said, "Pureed."
Me too.
Now, when you live around and you hang around senior citizen a lot, you start to think a lot like that. So now, all I think about is power of attorney, living wills, healthcare policies. I went out to dinner with a friend, all I could talk about was life insurance rates. My sister, she asked me to make her the sole beneficiary, which I did. And as a thank you, she took me skydiving. My sister has a big heart and a generous spirit, but she can be a bit on the bossy side. Whenever she comes over to visit my parents, she leaves me notes, little notes everywhere, reminding me of what I need to do better. And in the morning, I wake up to 15 texts reminding me to read the notes to what I need to do better. She loves to text. She texts me for just about everything. I get so many texts from her that I needed to get a separate phone just for her texts. Recently, I took my mother to the zoo. And I had to rent one of those electronic scooters. And I asked her, "Are you comfortable using it?" She said yes. We had a good day. But she was a bit reckless. Do you have any idea how much it costs to fish a scooter out of a penguin tank? A few months ago, I had shoulder surgery. I had to wear one of those bulky braces for a while, and it made it hard to do pretty much everything. So my mother had to drive me everywhere. She drove me to the doctor. She drove me to the stores. She drove me to restaurants. By the time the brace came off, she drove me to drink. Speaking of driving, I recently bought a new car. I spent months shopping for it. When I was younger, I used to look for performance and great sound system. Now, I look for one with seat warmers and room for 2 walkers. The salesman said to me, "You need to buy this car, the Mazda CX-5. So I asked him, "What does that mean?" He said, "I don't know, but it's better than the CX-3, not as good as the CX-9. So I told him, "You should get the FU2. I was walking around Walmart, and I came across 15 types of Monopolies, 12 types of Pop-Tarts, and 13 types of Cheerios. I went to the store clerk and I said, "Why are there so many choices for everything?" The store clerk said to me, "I'm sorry, sir, that's just what the market demands." And I said, "Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just trying to choose the right bathroom." Unfortunately, I do spend a lot of time in the hospital. And I took my father there. I was waiting in one of those triage rooms. And for 3 hours, he tortured me. My stomach hurts, my leg hurts, my chest hurts. But when the doctor came in, he says, "Mr. Pearlman, what brings you in today?" He says, "I have no idea why he brought me. I feel great." So when the doctor left, I punched him in the chest. And when he's there, he becomes a real ladies' man. He flirts with all the nurses. And being single, I asked him, "Hey, can you talk me up to some of them?" He said, "Absolutely not. It's every man for himself." And one night I came in, he said to me he'd gotten to third base with one of the orderlies. I said, "You must be imagining things." He goes, "No. Last night, she changed my diaper without me even asking." So, you might imagine I don't really have much of a personal life. So, every now and then I do need to get away. And this past winter I went up to the Poconos. I stayed in a beautiful bed and breakfast, and my room had a fireplace. And I love a good fire. I had no idea how to build a fire. 10 minutes later, there I was, standing in front of this big blazing fire with the fire department. And the fire chief turned to me and said, "You know, this is all your fault." I said, "My fault? How is it my fault?" He said, "It was a fake fireplace." Thankfully, it didn't cost me that much to replace that. They gave me the senior citizen discount. Thank you very much, everybody.